Hi guys, MrRoflWaffles here. This is weird. I haven't vlogged like this in years, and you might be a bit confused as to why the hell this is happening right now, and I don't blame you. Also, what do we think of the haircut? Mid? Good? Bad? Let me know. The reason I'm doing this is I'm in San Francisco for the first time ever right now for a work event that I'm going to be going to tomorrow, and I'm then joining this on to a trip to LA next week, and I'm going to be seeing a bunch of YouTube friends out there. Obviously, a lot of like Boogie Boys friends and just general Z House friends and all sorts are in LA. So I'm going to be seeing them, but I'm also there to sort of embark on a couple of new, really exciting ventures with my business output that isn't necessarily just more videos. I'm working with some new teams that I've never worked before in the games industry. I'm doing some new podcasty type stuff that I've not done before with folks from the games industry and just wider industries as well. And I figured I would do this video as like a little test to see whether on this channel you guys would be interested in more content in this regard, in this vein. And then if you are, hell yeah, I can kind of build in public and take you along for the ride over the next however long this sort of thing goes on for as my main focus. And if not, then that's all good. I'll just sort of shift it over to another second channel type thing, and I'll use that as the main repository for all the stuff where I'm doing creator coaching and all these other bits and pieces that I've got lined up right now, and I'm so excited about. So I appreciate this is a deviation from the content that you would probably expect from me right now, seeing as I'm posting super infrequently right now. I'm not posting a lot of zombies content, and all of my pieces of content are very sort of specific activations for a game launch. Like it's a review or it's early access footage or things along those lines. And here I am vlogging like it's 2016 and I'm at Gamescom for the first time. But hey, more content can't be a bad thing, right? So let's vlog like it's 2016, and I'm gonna head to the gym. The best thing about hotel gyms is that there's never anyone in them. They're always so empty. I've got a sports hernia right now, which basically means I don't have an actual hernia, but here on my abdomen is really painful, and it's especially painful when I'm flat benching apparently, so I'm not gonna do that. There's the tricep gains are gaining. That was fast. Shower now, work after. So I'm currently trying to sort of lay out in a very loose manner the flow that I want to establish for bringing small creators, medium-sized creators, large creators, massive creators, and other various different kind of customer types to pipeline through various marketing materials, whatever the sort of content distribution channels are, whether that's the influence marketing side of things, whether that's through our own organic content, whether that's through doing paid advertising, whatever it might be, and just trying to hack together a couple of tracks that I think are the most efficient in order to get the most bang for our buck. So obviously you can repurpose a video as a short, for instance, and so it's all about finding creative ways to increase the number of instances where you might be able to repurpose something, and then also finding low lift opportunities to repurpose it into something else. Also that you create a lot more coverage than you'd otherwise have with a lot less work. And I'm also trying to figure out and kind of work through in my head where I think would be best to reach a lot of those different separate kind of customer avatars. So a brand, for instance, that are looking for other businesses to work with in a B2B capacity are much less likely to be someone that you find on TikTok compared to a LinkedIn post or something. So working through those sorts of things. And I'm then going to be carving out some basic kind of content verticals for each of those platforms. And then when I have the target users and I have where the target users are and I have the content verticals that are possible on the platforms, I can then start piecing things together and say, okay, well, in order to save time and to make this more efficient, these three things that are on different platforms could actually all come from the same source. And then we've got to set the wheels in motion to actually get that stuff recorded. So that's the plan today. And that's going to be kind of continuing over the next couple of weeks. I'm 4 or 5 pages in. I'm just starting to thread things together now. The tricky thing about this is that I'm really trying hard to find ways to give value for free, because there's obviously so much that I've learned over the years. I mean, I've been making content for nearly 15 years at this point, which is insane to say. And I've learned a lot in that time. And it's all about finding the right method of distribution of that knowledge while also obviously seeing some upside myself so that I don't just spend my entire life educating people for free, and also trying to make my vision for this congruent with what Pipeline are doing and what Pipeline are able to offer and the services that they can provide, etc. And it's just a really interesting kind of problem space to be dabbling in right now. It's not something that I've super deeply pushed into in the last couple of years, in the last decade really, because I've been so focused on my very specific vertical with Call of Duty Zombies stuff. Whereas now I'm like, okay, well, I've got 500 million views on my channel and I've got millions of subscribers and I've had all this success. How can I translate that into something that other people can use as a roadmap for their own content, for their own strategy, and to kind of leapfrog me even to say, okay, well, like it took me several years to get my channel monetized because back then you couldn't do it that easily at all. And it took me several years further to really understand what made good content and what was possibly going to go viral and how to possibly achieve that. And years further still to be able to implement that a little bit more reliably and to kind of make routines and to systematize it and all those sorts of things. I want to accelerate the growth on for people so that they don't have to go through years and years of hassle to get there. Like, why not just learn that in a few months? So that's the goal. It's a lofty goal, but that's the goal. So we're here at the actual event now. There's some sort of interview area, so actually I'm gonna move over here so I'm not talking over somebody's interview because that would be really rude of me. They've got the game stations behind me there. They've got loads of really, really cool art everywhere. I've not really seen that so often at events like this, and I'm really glad it's there. I think it looks really awesome. We've basically had like 2 hours or so of game time, maybe a little bit more than that. I've captured absolutely everything that I played, which is really cool. Allowed to show about 90% of it, just not showing some cutscene-y stuff. And have also given a little bit of feedback and have set some stuff up for tomorrow. Gonna be doing some podcast stuff with Scott Pitlick from the studio. So excited about that. That's something that I've really, really wanted to set up on this trip, and it's happening, so I am hyped. So all that remains now is to actually go and do that. So I just finished talking with Scott. We are lined up for 11 AM tomorrow. It's going to be the first one that we've shot, so I've now got to get all my equipment a lot sooner than I thought I was going to have to, because I was intending to buy all this stuff out in LA. Basically, I've got 75% of what I need, but going into a new environment like this, rather than having him come to my environment, going to the studio, shooting it there in like a bank vault apparently. I don't know what the hell that means. He was like, yeah, it's like a lead box. I was like, what? So that's a thing in the studio apparently, and that's seemingly where we're gonna shoot. It'll probably end up being wherever's quietest, or at least I hope so. But again, not having control over the environment means that you just don't know with these sorts of things. So let's see how it goes, I guess. Question is, whereabouts can I buy very sort of specific niche podcasting equipment? Well, it's not that niche, but where can I buy this gear in an afternoon, like all in one afternoon? Is there like a Jessup's? Do you have Jessup's in this country? I think maybe B&H Photo is a thing, but I don't know if they have physical stores. There's a lot of questions like that I'm going to need to answer. The time is currently 1:45, so I've got some time. Not as much as I'd like, but some. I have looked and looked on Google, and I've called places, and I've even put it on my Instagram story asking if anyone knows anyone in the area. But I don't think I'm going to be able to get the camera in time. So I'm going to have to shoot single camera, which is not the end of the world. It's not what I wanted by any means, but it will simplify it a bit in, like I said, a new space. It's just going to mean that the end product isn't quite what I was hoping for, but that's okay. It's probably going to be one of those scenarios where you get what you get and you live with that. And this means that I'll be able to put more mental effort into figuring out the audio situation. I'll be able to make sure that that doesn't go wrong, because it could very easily go wrong. So that's good, at least. I still probably need to go out and get some way of attaching that audio. Oh God, there's so much to do. How acceptable is it to do a podcast with a clothes peg as the mic cable? I think unacceptable. I think I am gonna have to get a clip. I mean, the alternative, because this right now is hooked up to my wireless transceiver, which is hooked up to my wireless receiver, which is hooked up to this Tascam. But I suspect that that's probably a less optimal solution than just going and getting mic stands and getting a second Shure SM7B, that would definitely sound a lot better. And sound's really important for a podcast, so maybe that's worth doing now. But at the same time, again, I was hoping to do that in LA, not in San Fran. I'm going to test the SM7B, see how it sounds. If it sounds really, really good, then I might just have to bite the bullet. But then again, it's going to be pretty difficult finding a cloud lifter on a day's notice. I kind of doubt Best Buy has those. So I decided to go to the store and grab, well, toothpaste, but then also a couple options for medical tape. I thought I'd quickly just show you this. This is the John Madden Field at the EA campus. Okay, it's not really a campus, it's an office, but it feels like a campus. I mean, like, this entire area is so surreal. It's such a weird thing. I can't really think of anything like this in the UK, at least not that I know of. It's just really strange vibes. There's also like, there's no humans around. There's occasionally cars, it's rush hour, so there's a few more cars than normal, but it just feels like an alien city, like some kind of weird sci-fi dystopia. It's super strange. Back now. Also picked up these prep pads, which I'm hoping are going to be good for removing oil from the skin and stuff like that when we try and stick the mics on. It's just going to have to be a situation where I use those mics this time around. I'm not going to be able to use anything else. It's just not going to happen, but that's okay. It's not the end of the world at all. The quality's still great on them. It's just not like podcast vibes, but it's okay. I'm also doing a test. This has been recording, as you can maybe see, for just about an hour. It's on, how long is it on? 55 minutes. And I had that under the cover here. I was basically testing it with the dummy battery to see if it would overheat and if it would stop recording, because I've had issues with that happening in the past when I've been using aftermarket third-party batteries, but I haven't tested it with a dummy battery before, but it seems to be doing okay. That is really, really good to know, because it's going to mean that I can completely trust the camera and I don't need to do any cam link stuff. I don't need OBS. I was trying to get the cam link working, but I think the issue with it is this adapter, this one here, is just not good enough. It's not, I think, an actual USB 3 adapter, probably at least. And so the cam link needs higher throughput and it can't handle it. So it's plugged into the Mac, but it doesn't do anything. You just get a green screen and no actual signal. So can't do that on OBS right now. That's a pain in the ass. That's something I'm gonna have to fix once I get to LA. But again, this pod's all about just making it work, and just making it work is what currently I'm doing. I genuinely think I'm in a pretty good position right now, which is not how I felt a few hours ago. So I'm happy with myself. I'm definitely feeling the jet lag because it's about 5:15 now, and back in the UK, that would be 1:15 in the morning, and my body knows that it's time for bed, but I haven't even had dinner yet. We're going to be meeting up for social stuff this evening, so still a long day ahead. And that combined with all the troubleshooting of like, oh yeah, can I use the SM7B? No, okay. It's just worn me out. I've been awake since about 6 AM. I've just done a test using the equipment, using the sticky tape, getting that on my chest, making sure that I'm doing it in the right way, because I've had loads of problems with that in the past when we've been shooting Boogie Boys stuff, doing skits, bits and pieces. Tape on the chest either doesn't stick or it's rustly and it's, oh, such a nightmare. But in this, I'm just gonna have to live with the fact that there's gonna be a little bit of rustle potentially. I can use the shotgun mic on my camera as a backup. I am a little concerned about the fact that my batteries on my Tascam are dying. That's really not good news. And that means that I'm gonna need 4 more batteries, which is not the end of the world by any means, but I only have 6. So ideally I should stop by somewhere, pick up some new batteries. I don't know why I didn't do that yesterday. That was really foolish of me. But it doesn't really make sense that the batteries have died that fast, and it's just making me worried that they're going to die during the shoot, which would be so bad. And if those both fail during the shoot, then I'm screwed. So just going to have to be really efficient with what I'm doing and make sure that doesn't happen. And just like that, I'm packed up. This suitcase is looking a little full, but we'll make it work. Time to grab some breakfast, see if there's anyone around, say goodbye, and then head to the interview. So one long ass Uber later, we've made it. The studio is just here. You can see the little logo there. Just got to get inside now and meet Scott, and then we'll be ready to shoot. Here we are, hey, Scott.
Welcome.
Nice to see you, dude.
Good to see you. Come on in.
Here we are. Wow. Extended studios, baby.
Yeah, man. So welcome. This is our humble abode in San Rafael.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. It's, we're in an old bank building. It used to be an old bank. We still have the bank vault, and that's where we're going to talk today.
Right.
Inside like an old bank vault that's still with like the lead, lining out.
Right. We're going into a little secret dungeon in the middle of the studio.
Yep.
Actual bank vault door here.
In the middle. It's huge and heavy.
This is a genuine, real bank vault door. He was not kidding.
Oh my god, it's so heavy.
So that's the pod studio for today. You've got a little mermaid on the wall here as well. Love that.
Oh yeah. Yeah. People just draw on the walls. We've got our super sweet 8K TV that we test our 8K footage on.
Must be nice.
I don't know if you want to see the mocap room.
Oh, hell yeah, I do. Let's do it.
Got our mocap / gym.
Okie dokie.
That's nice.
Here we are.
The lights will go on.
Ta-da! Magic.
Yeah, this is where we do our mocap. We've got our accent seats.
So there's suits in there. I'm just going to get in one of those and I'll just pop myself in the game real quick. Yeah.
So you can just be like,
put me in, coach.
Yeah.
So this is in-house, which is not super common, I feel like. I think a lot of folks use like sound stages and stuff, right?
Yeah, some big studios have sound stages built into their offices, but you know, we're obviously a startup and a big one. We have 125 people working here, but yeah, this is a more of a COVID invention out of necessity, but our suits use magnets instead of all the cameras and stuff on a sound stage. So
Right,
it lets us do it in a smaller space like this for less money, but still get the same high quality result.
I love it.
Yeah.
It's so cool. I feel like it would be so tempting though to sort of come and watch while folks are running around like slashing axes and shooting fireballs and all sorts of stuff.
Yeah.
Oh damn, I love that.
Brett's not here today, but that's what
Brett's office.
Yep.
And this quite intimidating door.
Yeah, our huge door, don't get hit by it.
Yep, I'm good. Thank you. So this is the command center.
Yeah, this is the Palathon, which is like in our game is the headquarters, the floating headquarters of the Immortals, which are like the Navy SEALs of the world. So we called the room the Palathon, and we had an artist on our team draw, like literally, this is just using like white marker, you know, white marker.
Yeah.
Draw the Palathon here, but yeah, this is the room where we huddle in here and do war room meetings every day to run through the levels and you know, check out the latest cinematics and see what's going on and you know, fix things and make it better.
Yeah, let's make video games, baby.
Make video games.
So this is the bank vault. He was not kidding. There is an actual bank vault door here. This is the room where we're going to be shooting. They've got a bunch of like bits of memorabilia from other games that folks on the team have worked on. So, I mean, it takes no explanation to know who that is. And they've got all sorts of bits and pieces. There's a Batman, there's Dead Space stuff up there. There's a dog bed over there as well. Clearly there's an office dog somewhere or other. So I'm going to set up, I'm going to start shooting, and then see what happens from there. So Scott, it's really nice to be here, first of all. It is a pleasure. So that was a sneak peek of the podcast. This is now me talking. This is no longer me talking in the podcast, just to be clear, because I know sometimes that can be a little confusing. I think it went really damn well. I'm super happy with how the conversation turned out. It's got some really useful information for creators in there, some actionable info for you guys to be better at being creators, and simultaneously it has some insights from who I believe is one of the most interesting pioneers in the gaming kind of influencer space today. I think that Scott has got some really, really awesome plans for what they're going to do at Ascendant. And we talked about all of that in the podcast. So if you want to have a listen, you can click the link in the description. That'll take you over to it. You can drop a comment on there and let me know what you think. I'm always open to suggestions for if there's room to improve. But just because I shot that podcast with Scott doesn't mean that I'm done for my trip. I've got a bunch more to shoot, and I've got other business kind of consultation and things that I'm planning for and trying to get through while I'm out here. So if you want me to keep vlogging in this way, please leave a comment and let me know. I'll drop a link in the description so you can get a little bit more vloggy content ASAP. But for now, I'm just testing the waters, so please, I'd love to hear from you guys. Any and all feedback is massively appreciated here. It's good to be making videos like this again, so yeah, just let me know. Talk soon, bye for now.